Hello, hello. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Today is day 2 of Unlock Your Manifestation Power in just 3 days. It's our 3-day challenge, and today is day 2. I would love to hear some feedback from you from day 1. So, as you're hopping on, be sure to say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. And I would love for you to drop some comments and let me know what you got out of the activities that we did yesterday on day 1. And let me know if you stuck to the home activity that I gave you to do, your homework. And I would like to know how that went for you. So, as you're hopping on, be sure to say hello, drop your feedback from yesterday. And today is day 2. And today we're focusing on overcoming limiting beliefs and fears because that's a big one. And that's what holds us back from manifesting what we want is when we have limiting beliefs and fears getting in the way. It's like, it's almost like if you're trying to drive forward, but your vehicle is like still in park or something like that. Like you're not going to go anywhere. And so that's where the limiting beliefs and fears get in the way. And there's a quote that I heard that I don't know who even says it. And actually, I tried looking it up, and I did find it in a couple places, and it was listed as anonymous. So clearly, nobody knows who actually originally said this. But I loved it, and I thought it was perfect to share with you today. It says, "The only limits that exist are the ones in your own mind." Oh, how true that is. How many times do we get in our own way by the limits that we put on ourselves, right? Hey, Jack, how are you? So, as you're hopping on, be sure to say hello. Let me know where you're watching from, and be sure to drop a comment and leave me some feedback from yesterday. What was one takeaway from the activity that we did yesterday on day 1? Before we dive into day 2, I want to make sure that you have done days 1 because you know what, that's the main thing. So day 1 yesterday, we talked a bit about just being really clear on what it is that you want, knowing what you want, and being able to visualize what you want. Because one of the main reasons why we don't get out of where we are, like kind of being stuck and move on to the next piece, is that we're not even sure what we want. There's so many times where I've asked people what their goals are or what they want in life, and they have a really hard time answering that question. And so that's why I did yesterday's activity so that you can really wrap your head around what it is you want and then be grateful for what you do have and being able to visualize yourself in the future. So drop yourself a comment, let me know, and share with others what it is that you got out of yesterday's activity. So today, we're going to be diving in again. As I mentioned, we're going to be diving into talking about limiting beliefs and fears so that we can get rid of these things because they are blocking the way from manifesting what we want. And who wants to have blocks in our way? Well, like we just want to bash through them. Like picture a big brick wall and picture it like a big sledgehammer or something and just like bashing it and then like walking through that wall. How powerful and cool does that feel like? And then it's like all of your goals and dreams and wishes are on the other side of that wall. So we're going to be starting to break down that wall today, and that is the whole point of today as day 2 in the challenge. And so some of the things is, and I used that visual earlier of like trying to go, like pressing on the gas, but your vehicle's still in park or something's holding you back. And it's like that for a lot of us in many ways, because, when we're growing up, when we are experiencing things or witnessing things or hearing things, we are forming beliefs, we're forming our life, and some things of course are causing us pain along the way, or it's uncomfortable, or maybe we don't even realize that that's uncomfortable or causing us pain until later on down the road. But the point is that we are forming all of these beliefs based on things that we've experienced in the past, things that we've heard in the past, things that we've witnessed in the past, but they might not actually be true. Those beliefs that we've held on to for all this time may not be true. And so we've been carrying them around, And we've had fears around moving forward in different areas because it's scary to not know, right? And we have these beliefs that what's on the other side of this could be really scary, or whatever it may be. These limiting beliefs are holding you back. And so the cool thing is that once you can start releasing these limiting beliefs and getting rid of these fears and moving forward in faith. And actually, we have our upcoming Faith Over Fear Summit that I'm being a part of through the Higdon Group. And it's so incredible because it really, really leans into moving forward with faith, not letting fear get in the way, not letting fear hold you back. But once you can start letting go of these, then all of a sudden your path is being opened. It's like taking away those bricks. And one of the main things, though, is sometimes we don't know what is holding us back. We don't know what those limiting beliefs are. And so I would like you to think a little bit about different situations that you have been in, and I'm going to put on some music for you to kind of think about these things while you work on this. So get your pencil, your paper, your notebook, your writing utensil, whatever it is that you have, and I want you to get that ready to go because you're going to be writing some things down. But first, I want you to think about different situations that you've been in. And if it's easier, you can think about maybe the last year or even just the last few months. Think about different areas where you might have been fearful or a little anxious about moving forward with something or doing something. Maybe an opportunity came your way, or you were asked to do something or go somewhere, or a thought crossed your mind and then you quickly got it out because you're like, oh, no, no, no. Think about all of these different situations. And then I want you to first of all, write them down. Hey, Daniela. Hey, Lori. I want you to write down what these things are, the different things that came up for you. And so I want you to write down, identify these things that were your fears or limiting beliefs. So anytime you have been faced with anything over the last year, if you want to go back further, that's fine. Or if you want to just look at more recent months, whatever is easier for you. Sometimes it's easier to remember things that have just happened, or sometimes it's better to look back a ways, maybe the last 3 to 5 years. What were some situations that you were put in, or that opportunities that came your way and you didn't move forward with anything because of you felt one way or another? Maybe you thought that you were not qualified enough, not smart enough, not old enough, not young enough, not whatever. There's all of these things. These are all limiting beliefs. Whenever you're thinking like, oh, I'm just not good enough or not skilled enough, or, ooh, that's too expensive, or it's not right for me, or whatever your thoughts are, why you did not move forward with something. And you know what? A lot of the time, there's so many times where people think that they are not good enough to do something, or oh, that's too expensive. The too expensive thing is really an excuse because you can always find the funds to do what you need to do if it's something that's going to move you forward toward your goals and your dreams. Those things that we visualized yesterday, like where you want to go. If a piece of that requires an investment on your part, an investment to grow, maybe it's hiring a coach, maybe it's investing in a program, maybe it's learning a skill, whatever it may be. If you've told yourself, nope, I don't have the time, I don't have the money, then you know what? You're going to continue to not have the time or the money because that's a limiting belief that you've set up for yourself, instead of looking at it from a different perspective and is like, how can I get that money? How can I earn that money? Where can I come up with the money? Or how can I prioritize this time? Because it's important to me and it's going to move me forward. So a lot of the times we're limiting ourselves right off the bat by giving ourselves excuses. We're not good enough. We're not worthy, whatever it may be. So any of those thoughts that you've had over the last few months to a few years, I want you to write those down because it's so important. You can't break through these limiting beliefs if you don't even know what they are. Right? So it's like, it would almost be like an invisible wall. You don't even know what's there. You have to start like wiping away that invisible shield so that you can start seeing those bricks, so you can start taking them down, being able to move past them. I always love visual things, right? Like, is that helpful to visualize this, like this big brick wall, but it's like there's an invisible like shield over it, and that's like you not knowing what it is that's in your way. And so once you start identifying these fears and these limiting beliefs by wiping away that shield, all of a sudden you can start moving away those bricks because you can see them. Then all of a sudden you can start seeing the daylight, and all of a sudden things start coming into your life. You start manifesting those things that you want because you're moving away that other junk. And so I'm going to put on this music for you. And because yesterday there was a little bit of a problem with the volume and you couldn't hear me while I was playing the music, I'm going to try putting it at a low volume. And I'm just going to do a quick test in the beginning and just ask if you all can hear me. So I'd love for you to let me know if you can hear me. And then you can move forward with your activity. The music playing. I just gotta share my screen. I think the button is not letting me. Here we go. Maybe. There we go. Okay. All right. So the music is playing, the video is playing, I'm sharing it. Can you hear me? Let me know. Say I can hear you, or can't hear you, or you're too quiet, or whatever it may be. Let me know in the comments so that I can see if I can adjust one way or another. Maybe you can't hear me at all. Oh, great. Perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna use this from now on, this level of volume. Perfect. Thank you so much. Now I will let you get to your thinking. Think back, last few months, last few years. What are some things that you experienced, your fear or limiting beliefs that you had? Write those things down. Anything you thought, anything you felt, anything you said out loud. Go ahead and mute myself so that I'm not disturbing you as you're thinking about this. The sound of the waves is too loud. How about now? Without muting it, this is the lowest I'm able to make it. You can also feel free to adjust your own volume too if you need to, but I want to make sure that you can hear me. I can actually turn my mic up. The only thing I can't turn the back down. Think about any time you may have felt that there was something that you were resisting, moving forward with something. right. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. So, how was that? Were you guys able to come up with a list of some things that were holding you back? Some things you've experienced where you have thought different things, where you've either felt fear or different limiting beliefs. You're welcome to share them if you want, but if you don't want to, that's okay as well. And I also just want to make a quick note that by participating in this 3-day free challenge, you also have the option to upgrade to the full manifestation mastery. All of my Empowered Living Academy members already have full access to this and will be able to participate for free. So if you're part of that, no need to sign up for that. But we have live sessions that are going to be happening starting in November, where we're going to be doing a deep dive and cellular alignment around all of the different categories that we talked about yesterday for setting up your goals for. So I want to make sure that you know that. You can go to building-upward.com/mastery. So feel free to hop over and take a peek at that. And I can also drop a comment in a little bit later. I realized that yesterday my comments were not working. You weren't able to see them, which is okay. But I'll make sure to pop back in. So, Lori, great. Thank you so much for sharing. Yeah, too many on your list to share. That's okay. I know the feeling because I've had all of those thoughts before. And I actually missed out big time. I don't know if you're all aware of Brendan Burchard. I started learning from him and following him years ago, before he became very well known and before he wrote all the books and had all of the programs and all of the stuff that he has. I had the opportunity to have one-on-one coaching with him for a very, very reasonable price. Very reasonable. And I think it was literally, it would have been less than $5,000 a year for the coaching. And at the time, I thought, I don't have the time. I don't have the money. So I said no. Oh boy, do I regret that. Because now, not only does he barely work one-on-one with anybody, he's very particular about that, but people are paying tens of thousands of dollars to work with him one-on-one. And I had that opportunity. So yes, there is that regret. But the good thing is I learned from that. I was able to recognize the fact that, hey, I can create that time and money. I can step out of the box and I can learn ways of creating money to be able to do the things that I think are important for me to be able to grow myself, my business, and other things in my life. And also to carve out time for the things that are priority to me. So those were limiting beliefs that I had. I learned to break free from them so that I no longer made those mistakes of letting my limiting beliefs get in the way of allowing me to grow toward my goals. And guess what? Now I'm able to invest way more than that in other programs and working with coaches, and I always do, because I know how important it is to grow and to continue to grow so that I can continue serving and helping others through what I do. And so I just wanted to share that story with you because limiting beliefs can really, really get in the way of allowing you to grow and move forward. And it is a huge blocker for manifesting. So I wanted to make sure to bring that up today because that was a big one for me. Um, so one of the things that and I'd love for if any of you are also willing to share some of your limiting beliefs, you're welcome to if you would like. So that some of the fears that you've had, and if not, that's okay as well. I do want to have a quick prayer. I wrote it down here so that I would make sure to stick on point. So we're going to go ahead and say a quick prayer. Dear God, I ask you to heal me of all things conscious, unconscious, and subconscious that prevent your blessings and favor from entering my life. Help me to release the fears, doubts, and beliefs that block my path. In their place, let your peace, clarity, and strength guide me forward. In Jesus' name, amen. In the beginning portion of that prayer, I learned from Graham Cook, who is actually going to be one of the speakers at the Faith Over Fear event that I was mentioning earlier, that I'm helping to plan and organize. And um, he just has a way with, it was actually from a book that he wrote, Crafted Prayer. So if you haven't read that book, highly recommend it. I didn't even realize I was going to be recommending books on this, but books have been a huge part of me learning and growing and releasing those limiting beliefs and fears by learning more skills and learning how to release things. So the next thing is gratitude. And I talked about this yesterday of being grateful for the things that you have in your life. Now, this activity is going to be a little bit more tricky for you. Okay. So are you ready for something tricky? Now, this is a challenge, remember, and that's the whole point of me having something that's tricky for you to do. And so this particular activity is going to require you to write down at least 2 or 3 benefits from each of those limiting beliefs or fears that you already wrote down. A benefit that you experienced from having that limiting belief. Because I'm assuming that because you had that limiting belief, you didn't move forward with something, or you didn't do something, or you didn't say something that that you maybe were afraid to, or that you felt you weren't qualified for, or whatever it may be, whatever those limiting beliefs or fears were. So it must have benefited you in one way or another at the time to have that limiting belief. It was like a form of protection for you. And so I'm going to give you just a little bit of time to think about this, because I know it's hard to think about the benefit of something that seems to be an obstacle or something that's in your way. And so I'm just going to pop on the thinking music again for just a little bit. And sorry if it's really loud, feel free to turn it down. And then you can turn it back up when I hop on. One of these days I'll figure out how to adjust the volume on these things, or maybe I will put together a different playlist of relaxing music. But for right now, this is the one I've got up. So I just ask you to bear with me here, and you can feel free to turn down the music or turn down the volume on your computer as you are thinking. And I want you to write down 1 to 2 benefits of each of those different limiting beliefs that you wrote. And again, like, I'm going to just give you a short amount of time because you can work on this some more on your own. But then we're going to be chatting about this a little bit more in just a moment. So I'm going to share my screen with you and get that started so that you can think and write down your benefits, thinking of gratitude, how grateful you are for that limiting belief at that time that it was in your way, or that fear. Okay. Again, it's hard. I've had to do this before, and I don't have you do anything that I wouldn't do. I have done this exercise, and it was very, very beneficial to do this exercise. So here we go. About 20 seconds left. I'm going to check your thoughts on that. All right. So how was that? Was it difficult? Was it hard to think of the benefits and feel grateful for the fears and for those limiting beliefs? Or was it easy? I know for me it was very difficult. So so please do share your thoughts. Interesting and insightful. Good, Lori. I'm glad to hear that. One of the things that that I found was that it was difficult to think of the benefits, but once I did, it made so much sense of why I had them to begin with. So, we're going to go through our last activity for the day, which will be a meditation and visualization. And I'm going to use the the sound again, so I apologize. And I am going to be talking through it. So I want you to raise your hand quick if for some reason you can't hear me. So make sure to make a comment if you can't hear me while the music is playing. But we're going to be visualizing some things. So if you're able to get to a place where you can be sitting in a comfortable place and close your eyes, no need to lay down this time. I know I had you lay down yesterday. If you feel more comfortable laying down, go for it. But I definitely want you to be to a place, if you're able, where you can close your eyes and take deep breaths. If you're driving, please don't close your eyes. You can always come back to this and watch the replay. But as long as you are in a place where you can close your eyes, I'll go ahead and I'm going to be starting to share my screen momentarily. And we're going to play that music one last time, but definitely let me know if you can't hear me, because if so, we can just do it without the music. I can mute it, and then there will just be that background of nothingness. So let me know. Can you all hear me okay? I want to make sure you can hear me now that that is playing. You're driving, Annabella. Yes, that's okay. So don't close your eyes, but you can still, there's been a lot of times where I've thought and kind of visualized, daydreaming type of thing, but just make sure you're safe while you're driving. And you can always come back and watch the replay. And again, all of the replays are going to be available lifetime, as well as lifetime access to the full manifestation series through upgrading to the full manifestation mastery program that I'm doing, where we're going to be doing dives on everything. So you can go to building-upward.com/mastery. All right, so here we go. Go ahead and hold on just a moment. I don't know if you can hear this, but there are backup noises here. There's a truck at my house, so I'm going to get this started in just a moment. I'm going to just close my window. Okay, sorry about that. We're getting a delivery. All right, so go ahead and find your comfortable position, seated or lying down. If you're able, again, drive safe. Ella and everybody else driving. Go ahead and close your eyes and take a deep breath in. Now slowly release. Now with each breath, I want you to visualize releasing the tension, any kind of tightness that you might have in your body. Just kind of picture that all releasing. Everything is relaxed. Head all the way down. In, deep breath. until you can feel yourself fully relaxed. And keep breathing slowly, and I want you to bring to mind something that has been holding you back. Maybe it's one of those fears or limiting beliefs that you wrote down, or something that has been cropping up throughout your life. Allow it to come into your awareness, but without judgment. Don't judge it in any way. It's there for a reason, and it's okay. And just be okay with that. And I want you to just take a moment and observe this. And you can do this again on your own with remaining limiting beliefs, but I want you to think of one right now. How has this limiting belief or fear shown up in your life? Has it been multiple times? Is it often? Has it been since you were young all the way up into adulthood? Where has it stopped you from stepping into your full potential? Just visualize it, remember it. And just imagine this fear or limiting belief being like a heavy weight. Picture this weight that's just sitting on your shoulder. And you're just feeling the weight of it. Feel it weighing you down. It's just sitting there on your shoulders. Almost like a giant backpack sitting around your shoulders. Now take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, release it. Let it slip right off of your back. Let it fall to the ground and just dissolve and disappear as it falls. Just goes into zillions of little pieces and disappears and dissolves into the air. Now as you continue to breathe, feel the lightness of your body. Imagine yourself free from that limitation, that fear, that limiting belief. Feel the lightness. And now picture the possibilities that just open up to you now that you're no longer held back by that limitation. Picture yourself doing the things that you've always wanted to do, but that fear or that limiting belief was getting in the way. In this new space where you can now feel that, allow yourself to feel all of the feelings and emotions doing the things that you want to do now that you're in life. Now that you've released this, now that you're feeling yourself moving into this and the new things that you're now able to do, bring to mind now a new empowering something that just fills you with confidence and strength and hope. And just repeat it to yourself softly. You can say it out loud. What is that belief? What are you now going to believe? Now that you're no longer afraid of something or believing something it's not true, you're no longer released from, what is this new empowering thought? Now keep that with you as you continue to breathe. And I want you to slowly flutter your eyes open and bring your awareness back. And I want you to write that down, your new empowering belief. I want you to write it down. And I want you to share in the comments how that made you feel. Wow, Annabella, that's awesome. You're feeling into it even as you're in the vehicle. That's awesome. Very cool. Yes, drop a comment and let me know how that feels. How does it feel to you now that you have released that weight of that limitation? And this was just one. Think about doing this. Find music that you love that's relaxing to you, maybe not so loud. Find some relaxing music, a quiet place, and do this activity with each of your limiting beliefs and fears. That's going to be your homework for tonight, is to go through, make sure that you've written down anything else that comes to mind, any other fear, any other limiting belief that may be causing you to not live into your full potential, that might be stopping you from doing the things you want to do. So I want you to continue making that list. And then I want you to do this activity, this visualization activity. And feel free to say that prayer that we said earlier, to allow yourself to really, really step into this new identity of an empowered person. It feels lovely. I love that. That's a beautiful thought. And another activities I'm going to give you to do, to take home for today. And we're going to end a little early today because first of all, I'm going to get to the hospital to visit my new niece that was just born today. And also, I want to give you some time right now while you're in the state of mind, while you're thinking about these things, to finish up some of these activities. Because if you put it off, you may not do it. So I want you to do it right now. I want you to think about, thank you so much, Lori. I want you to think about the rest of these limiting beliefs that have been in your way. And I want you to do this visualization so that you can imagine releasing that weight of that fear, that limiting belief, and replacing it with an empowering belief, something new. And then one of the other things that I want you to do, which is pretty fun, because the visualization of the release is amazing. But then I want you to take that piece of paper that you had all of those limiting beliefs and fears on, and I want you to tear it up into little pieces. And if you want, you can even burn it, but make sure you're doing it in a safe area. Okay. So if you have like a burn pit, if you have like a metal canister, something where you can burn safely. I don't want you to burn anything down doing this activity, but the actual physical ripping it up and burning those, it's allowing you to release them. So then you can now step into this new empowered version of yourself, these new empowering thoughts where those fears are no longer in the way. And I want you to include with every single one of these new empowering thoughts that you're replacing the old limiting beliefs with, I want you to write those down, and those are now going to be your new affirmations. So that'll be the next piece of your activity. Write down these new empowering beliefs that are now going to be your affirmations. They can be I am affirmations, I can affirmations, I am worthy of, whatever it is that comes to mind while you're doing the activity. I want you to write that down on a separate piece of paper, not the one that you're going to be tearing up and burning, because you're going to do that at the end. But you need to go through each of these first and allow them to release. Okay. So are you excited for this? Are you excited to get rid of these things that you might have been holding on for years and years and years? And that's the thing. When you can start remembering all of the times where this has held you back, it feels so good to release that. It feels so good to get rid of that. And so I am excited for you. I can't wait to hear how this goes for you. So I want to hear your thoughts and your feedback, and for you to share how it goes. So come back and drop a comment a bit later and let me know once you have done this activity and how it was for you. And then we will be back again tomorrow for day 3 of the challenge. Can you believe it, that we're more than halfway done with the 3-day challenge already? So thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you so much. And I cannot wait to see you tomorrow. I cannot wait to hear about how this was. Oh my goodness, you guys are going to just be so empowered. I'm so excited for you to do this activity and just release these things. Once you start releasing these things, oh, you feel so free. You feel so light. And you just start moving forward with ease into all of the things that you want to do and you know you're capable of doing underneath. And God knows it. You are so capable and you are so worthy of doing all of the things that you want. So I cannot wait to have you release these things so you can start manifesting that life of your dreams. I cannot wait. And I would love to hear for your feedback. So be sure to hop back on later and let me know once you're done with this activity. Thank you so much for joining. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.